good morning, everybody. Uncle Andy's in the building. Salute, Uncle Andy. Good morning. Said grass is growing fast now. Yeah. She's getting cut regularly. It's getting cut regularly, man. I want to talk about let's start with this. There's been a lot of I've seen a lot of videos going around on Instagram. I don't have TikTok. I don't know why I never really caught to TikTok like that. I don't need too many channels of mass distraction in my life. You understand? My daughter wants Instagram now. I don't know. My wife wants to get her the teenage account. This stuff is toxic to me. This stupid stuff I see on here. And she's doing great. She's going to ninth grade, and she's also already in college. So right now they have her at the dorms in at the university, and she's spending some weeks there, a certain amount of weeks there over the summer, and she'll be in this college for the next 4 years before she actually goes to college. But she already expressed to me she's probably going to choose this university, either this university or NYU she wants to go to. I don't really need her being distracted by Instagram, and she already has TikTok. However, these are some very powerful social media tools, right? So, as I'm watching it, I see a lot of black kids in New York, mostly New York, mostly Harlem. Harlem has a thing with luxury. Shout out to Harlem. But Harlem has a chip on its shoulder when it comes to luxury, right? They have to be the flyest. And for the most part, we all give Harlem that. No one argues. Don't try to argue. Brooklyn sometimes try to argue, but that's just Brooklyn being Brooklyn. You understand? They're very argumentative. Everyone knows. You're not going to try to, because that's what Harlem focuses on. I need to be fly. I need to be the flyers in the room. So they focus on that. Let them be the flyers. So when it comes to certain brands and when it comes to certain products, because Harlem is a brand, Harlem has been a brand of stylish for a long time. So when they put out that energy like, yo, you're wearing fake this and fake that, it affects it. People listen. Now, my hope is that maybe my video can be seen in Harlem somewhere, because I would like to teach those people something. I would like to educate. My people perish for lack of knowledge. I'm not the smartest guy, but I've been here for a minute and I've been doing some things. You understand? When everybody went off to college at 18, I did not go. I went 10 years later at 28. So that's 10 years of doing whatever I was doing on the planet Earth in the wilderness of North America before I even really sat down in a collegiate environment. For real. So I had a different education. I was popping up in cities where I would just start hustling. And it wasn't always hustling illegal things. Sometimes it was hustling sometimes it was hustling clothes. I would just go out to look at the map. Okay, I'm going over here today and hustle some clothes. I've never been here before, but I'm going to hustle whatever I brought. And I would buy things from 28th Street in New York. 28th Street is known to sell what we call counterfeits, or what you guys call counterfeits, right? But being in the actual business of buying from these wholesalers and going find some place to sell it. Good morning, Winter. Winter's in the building. Yeah, we definitely gonna be talking about luxury items today. We definitely gonna, but this is more of an education. No, Uncle Andy says, did you hear the MK Ultra hearing? I didn't catch it. I'm gonna, now that you said something, I'll definitely go to whitehouse.gov after this and go check it out. This is just more of an education. So being involved in the interaction of the business with the people on 28th Street, I actually ended up doing that like to survive for a certain amount of years, buying things and selling things. So then spending time with these people, they started to reveal to me what most people are finding out only 2 years ago when China got upset at America. But the Africans downtown and the Asians downtown, who I spent a lot of time with, and they see my face regularly, and you get to know these people and you have conversations. They revealed to me it's all the same product. And I'm telling you, I didn't believe them. Right? Now, there are levels of quality. So when they say it's all the same product, if you could be getting bullshit, you could be actually getting a counterfeit, right? And you can tell by the quality. So chances are, if you can tell by the quality, it's a fake. That's definitely a fake of a replica of a replica. But they was explaining to me like, yo, these are the same people who make this stuff for the companies. And I didn't believe. I swear to God, I didn't believe. I thought they was just still putting me on. I didn't care at the time because I'm like, I don't give a shit. I'm making a lot of money doing this. Right? This is how I lived in California. This is how I lived. I took shit from New York and sold it over there in California. And I was renting a fucking 5-bedroom house, 3-car garage that overseen like this. I was living in Riverside County. I didn't have no worries out there. I didn't even have a job. I had a job at the end when I stopped doing it for a while. But when I was doing that, and the only reason I stopped doing it is because I felt I was what's the word I want to use? Trained. Like my brain said, no, you're supposed to have a job. Right? My brain wasn't trained the right way. Here I am making a living without a job. And I'm just going around and I'm selling. But I think the perception got to me. Where I would go, because let me tell you how you make your most money doing that. Over there, it's really Baby Boy. It's really, if you ever seen the movie Baby Boy, it's the exact same thing. Right? So you're going around from salon to salon with your products. And you're meeting people. And you feel like, yo, they judging me because I'm walking in here. Not as much as New York, because you can't even do it in New York without, like, people laughing you out the shop or making you really feel bad. But over in California, they don't laugh at you. They actually waiting for you to come through. And they say, yo, where's the soap? Where's this man? Where's the cologne man? Where's the, you know what I'm saying? So they really waiting for you. Where's the G man? Did the G man yet come through yet? Where's the pocketbook man? And I think that it started to get to me because I felt like, yo, I don't know if this is my purpose to be the pocketbook man. I think I got a higher purpose. And this is no slight at the pocketbook man. I was the pocketbook man. And I made a lot of money being the pocketbook man. But I don't think it was my purpose. And I think that gut feeling, that intuitive feeling that we all feel sometimes to say, yo, go left, go right, keep straight. That's what I started to feel. And then I just, I fell out with the people I was out there with because they didn't understand. Yo, what are you doing, bro? We getting money out here. Why would you mess this up? And I'm like, yo, I gotta go. I gotta go. And I think everyone should just follow their heart a lot of times because everyone else is not going to understand why you're doing what you're doing. And it's not for everyone to understand why you're doing what you're doing. Your walk is personal, right? So today I want to watch a video and I want to have a conversation later on. Let's go here. Give me a second. Let's monitor. There we go. Let's watch a video.
Almost everything that you wear is a scam. The leather isn't really leather, the cotton isn't really cotton, and the 100% authentic sneaker might just be a replica. I've spent years in this industry, and once you see how these companies trick you, you can't unsee it. So today I'm going through 10 of the biggest scams in fashion. And by the end, you're probably going to look at your wardrobe completely differently. So going from painful to just flat out wrong, let's start with those 100% authentic sneakers that you're wearing. So if you've bought a pair of hyped up sneakers in the past 10 years, chances are you've used StockX. And for a while, it was really the safest option. You know that there are plenty of incredibly high quality fakes that are so close to the real thing. So you decide to go to StockX's website where they guarantee.
I want to stop right there. And I also want to tell you this. I told you, shout out to the new people that came in the room. You understand? I'm giving an education this morning. If you want to stay for it, well, you're welcome. If you feel like you need to do something else, we thank you for your visit. Now, I spent a number of years dealing with the wholesalers downtown New York. What they also revealed to me is that many of these products were what we would call defects over here. So they didn't pass the measure of quality assurance. And then people would put them to the side. I have to think at some point that people were purposely saying, yo, these didn't fit they didn't meet the measure of quality assurance, put them to the side, just so that they can later trade them themselves on the black market. I have to think that, right? Because if they're making shoes for Nike, if they're making shirts for Yves Saint Laurent, if they're making bags for Louis Vuitton, I'm telling you, man, you're not going to sit there all day and make $2 an hour. Sidebar. Remember when Obama got involved in Haiti business and got mad because Haiti wanted, who was it, Tommy Hilfiger at the time, to pay the Haitians $5 an hour, and Obama blew a gasket? Who remembers that? He blew a gasket and was like, yo, you can't pay them $5 an hour. And yo, I was like, what? Who the F are you to get what? Why are you involved in that? Yo, he really didn't want them to make more money. And that's when I knew. I said, no, this is a big rigged system. This system is bigger. This system is rigged to the point where we have no understanding. That's why they don't like you working two jobs. You ever run into somebody? Most of you probably haven't, right? But I've worked two jobs. Bust it. I went on interviews. And the way my resume was set up, I never hid the fact that I worked 2 full-time jobs. If you was watching my show yesterday, I revealed to you I had 2 high-paying full-time jobs. Because one job didn't want to let me go, so they worked something out. So I worked that Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday night. And all I was doing, I was on the computer. So it wasn't physical work. I was just on the computer taking care of people's servers. But he claimed he didn't have enough people, and I was the only one in the U.S. He had all the rest of my team was in India. So he didn't want to leave. He didn't want me to leave abruptly, and he got to find somebody. He's like, yo, bro, just stay for me. I said, I can only stay if I work Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. He said, all right, it's a deal. Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday night. I was like, Monday night? He was like, come on, bro, work with me. I'll work with you. I bet I'll do it. So that's one full-time job. That's downtown by Wall Street. I wasn't going in anyway. It was remote. So really, I'm doing it from wherever anyway, as long as I got a laptop and internet. I went out and brought a jetpack. There's times I'm in a restaurant doing my job. I'm going to keep it 1,000 with you. Then I was an IT manager in Queens. When I presented, because of the years that overlapped, I presented being truthful, and I would go to other jobs. Yo, let me tell you something. The hate on these people's face when they seen, when they seen I had 2 full-time jobs, and not like, yo, oh, you worked at the Dollar Tree and then you worked here. No, they could see like, yo, you had 2 full-time salaries? Oh, they was hurt. They act like I committed a crime. And I'm like, I really wanted to curse them. Like, what the fuck does it matter to you? What does it matter to you? But they look down upon it. They feel like you cheated. Yo, this is the American way, my boy. I don't think anyone has gotten to the top without their grandfather or their father doing something, put them in place, and then they change the legacy, right? They use that dirty money to send their kids to colleges and universities and through law school. Yeah, that's how it works, bro. All I did was I didn't even do anything. It's not dishonest to work your ass off. They don't like it. Yes. Keep the majority down. That's what it is. That's when I realized, oh, they here's the part that pissed me off though. How did they get someone else to get brainwashed to say, hey, you can't have 2 full-time jobs? Why? It's illegal. It's not illegal, bro. Well, you can't. But the hiring managers all frowned upon it. And that's when I had to start changing my resume to different dates, because I'm like, nobody's hiring me. They all stop. They all stop at that one question. Oh, I see you was working here and here at the same time. And then they look up at you for an explanation. And, you know, you could tell from my attitude a lot of times what the fuck happened. My arrogance got the best of me, because I feel like, what the fuck do you care, bro? Did you call here to discuss this, or do you need somebody to do this job or not? Don't be counting my money, bro. What are you doing? What are we having a conversation about? AWS or how much money I've been getting around the world? What are you doing? Suckers.
guarantee you 100% authenticity. Their website says that each shoe is verified by an expert at authentication, and they use technology as a second layer. So of course you trust all of this and make the order. When the pair finally arrives, you unbox it, take a good look, and nothing really indicates to you that this pair is fake or that there's anything wrong. But as the days go by, you ultimately never end up wearing this pair of shoes, and because you spent so much on the aftermarket for this pair of shoes, guilt kinda takes over. So you decide to use StockX's platform how it was intended and box them back up and sell them on the platform. But you see, you're smart, so you decide to take a video of yourself doing it, just in case. And sure enough, a few days later, you open your email to find a message from StockX. They tell you that the shoes you sold on their platform are fake and failed authentication. Now, although this story could apply to a lot of people, it's actually my story. Yes, it was me the whole time. And after a few days of back and forth with customer service, they ultimately told me that there's nothing they can do and that the shoes are fake. Fake shoes making it through the authentication process that a lot of these platforms have is not an anomaly. In fact, Nike sued StockX for this exact reason. In the lawsuit, it says that Nike employees bought 4 pairs of Jordan 1s from StockX and found out that they were fake. And when the people who made
let me tell you something. I want to straighten out the story this morning. I just want to straighten out the story. And even though we don't got a lot of people, we don't need a lot of people in here this morning. All we need is whoever's in here, right? Because this is an education. It may be an education for you. You may be in here for a reason. There's different qualities of what they call fake, counterfeit. But I assure you, the same people are making the products that are going to the major stores. China has already revealed this. They got tight once the United States threw the tariffs on Chinese products. Oh, they got crazy. Let me see if I can pull up a video real quick of China coming to, like, making videos, like, basically letting America know, hey, all that you wearing, we made it anyway. It's us. It's not the descendants of Louis Vuitton himself, of themselves, making these products. No, it's me, Heng Chow. It's me, Heng Chow. Hold on. China manufacturers reveal the truth. Let me see what happens. Oh, here he goes. I know his face now. As
long as there's a
hold on.
tag saying made in China, the bag can never be luxury. However, in fact, more than 80% of the luxury bags in the world are made in China. But those luxury brands just won't acknowledge that. They take almost finished bags from China factories back to their own factories and just do the repackaging and logo installing, something like that.
Luxury brands have built their reputation on 3 key things: exclusivity, quality, and heritage. You know the story. Every bag is supposed to be handcrafted in a quiet European atelier by a seasoned artisan in a crisp...
That's what we think. Look how many products is going out. Do you really think? You got to ask yourself, do you really think? What elves do you think are out here cranking out these Nikes? Who do you think are making Nikes? All these products. Who do you think are making all these bags? These are not handmade watches. That's different. Oh, we're going to get there, Paul. We're going to get there. K Jersey, what's good with you? Okay, we got K Jersey in the house. She got time to watch us on her way to work. Salute to you. We're going to get there. I'm educating this morning. So we'll get to COVID. We'll get to offshoring. Right? We're just watching the video right now. Then I get to my slides.
White apron, right? That's what makes the $3,000 price tag feel justifiable. But in reality, most of these so-called made in Italy or made in France luxury goods, they're being made in China, in bulk, in massive factories that also happen to produce for other street brands.
I also realized that, my little stint working, and I used to tell people I work in the fashion industry. I don't know if I was lying because I did work in the fashion industry at that time. I was just selling replicas, or I don't know if you want to say fake replicas, because I'm pretty sure I sold it all, or just what do you want to call this? Defected items from the line. Because I think I sold all three. There were times I'm like, nah, this seems a bit real. And even when I went to go sell my bags, most of the ladies was like, is this real? I never answered them. I would be like, come on, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, but that was the answer that always got them to say, to dig in their pocketbook and give me that $150. I said, you come on now. If anybody here know, I don't even gotta go too much into that. They get to digging. Thank you. I don't know if this is real, fake. I don't know. Keep it 1,000 with you.
And now, thanks to a wave of TikTok videos coming straight out of Chinese manufacturing hubs, the entire operation is being exposed. What's even crazier is why these factory workers and suppliers in China are suddenly speaking out. This isn't random. It's not a marketing stunt or some kind of TikTok trend for clout.
It's not. I'm telling you. And I'm doing this video today. Winter says, I love vintage Italian leather. I like buying vintage items. Yes. Now, I know the vintage Italian leather you're talking about. I know. Having spent time in the industry, I learned the difference between the different fabrics. And there is a difference. Even the way the leather turns colors over a certain amount of time, I started to notice. I said, oh, okay, there's a difference. I brought my daughter a sewing machine, hoping she would appreciate the idea of starting her own. Where would you want, right? Like, why? I get it. Everyone at your school cares about essentials. So I get her some essential stuff, but I educate her. I said, do you know that some of the stuff you was wearing was already essentials? I said, I gave you. She said, no. I said, who makes essential? Do you know? I said, look it up. So she had to look it up and then seen they were affiliated with Scotch and Soda. I said, you know how much Scotch and Soda shit I have around here? My rain jacket is $700. I've been wearing Scotch and Soda for like a decade. I gave you a Scotch and Soda, and you didn't care about it because so this is what I'm saying. Don't be a label whore. Don't be because the name. No, if you like it, wear it. But I'm telling you right now, it's not worth it, right? Like, you mix it up. You don't. Everything doesn't have to be a fancy label. Make your own shit. Make that fly.
It's retaliation, the result of the ongoing tariff war between China and the U.S. Since
Dollar was
trade
good.
tensions escalated, especially with high tariffs being slapped on Chinese exports, the cost of doing business has risen.
Yo, B Dolo, thank you, bro. B Dolo sent gold coin for 10 jewels. Listen, I never know what this means. I just thank you guys. I never know. Yo, you know what? I always say, yo, I'm gonna learn what that means. After today, I really have to know what the hell this means. But it is like people spend money to send me a gift. So I appreciate you. I don't know how it equates. But thank you, B Dolo. I appreciate you. Yes, winter. Good quality never goes out of style. Right? So you can make your own stuff. I brought my daughter to the fashion district. What I did was I brought her to Harlem just a few months ago. I brought her to Harlem. We went to all the stores that's popping, right? I say, yo, get what you want, right? Choose something. But you got a limit, right? Don't wow out. I don't know what was on my daughter's mind. She sometimes doesn't have the confidence to. She thinks she has to do what her parents want her to do all the time, and I'm trying to get her to be an independent thinker. And her mother wants her to dress one way, and I'm telling her she's not that person that you want her to be. So let her be who she wants to be. Whoever you are is you. She's not you. She's not you. And she's not me. She's the both of us. So that means you got to allow her to be a unique, find herself. But she can't be scared that, oh, it's going to disappoint you. Get off her back, bro. Get off her back. So I don't bring my wife with us when we go clothing shopping because the slightest face will tell my daughter she disapproves or approves. So you stay. Now you don't, oh, why y'all don't bring me? No, you never come with me when I'm taking her shopping because she doesn't know how to be herself. So I take her there first purposely. I know where I'm going after this, but I want her to see. She picks up some jeans for $245. No, put those shits back. I will spend $250 on a shirt before I spend $250 on the jeans. Jeans is bullshit. I used to spend stupid money on jeans, $700 on jeans and stupid shit like that. This is when I was ignorant. I still have all those jeans. Fucking Red Robins, the V-Suits. I got all those jeans right in the fucking closet. They're just sitting there. I said, no, put those back. Don't spend a lot of money on jeans. Right? Maybe you have one good pair of jeans, but put those back. Pick something else. And I thought she was going to pick an Essentials hoodie because she likes Essential. She walked over to the hoodies. She didn't see anything. I said, you done? Yeah. All right, cool. Let's go. So we went to 2 high fashion stores that's going to overcharge. I wanted her to look at the price. Then I took her downtown. I took her to 28th Street. The first spot we went to, I could have skipped that spot, but I wanted her to see the difference, right? So when we went in there, they had Essentials, this, that, and the third. I told her to pick the shirt up. The shirt had basically it would start peeling off I don't even know what to call that. But that shirt would have started peeling off. Right? So I knew right then and there. I just want her to see. She was like, "Oh, they gotta send you." No. Don't get that. Easy, cowgirl. Easy. I'm teaching you right now. I want you to see something, right? Yo, how much is this right here? He tells us the price. All right. I say, you see? All right. So we went to 3 spots so far. All right. Let's go to the next spot now. Now I want to show you guys something. Now, the next spot. The next spot's letters they were on like this. This is raised a little bit. I don't know if you can see that, right? That's how the shirt was supposed to be. Right there. Her face lit up. She just looked at me. I say, see? I said, how much? He said the price. She looked at me. I said, see? There's a difference. Now these kids know, right? I already know what she gonna look for. I already know what she gonna look for. They know. If that hoodie don't got that on it, you see? They know. Off the rip, off Jump Street. Nah, shit is fake. So she's checking it all out. She just looking at me. See what I'm saying? One of my wife's friends is always trying to be in competition. Oh, we got a guy who comes to the house and my wife tells me, because my wife is out the loop, right? So she's telling me. I look at my daughter like, they got a guy. I have a guy. What are you talking about? Your daughter has a guy now. They don't got a guy. They don't got hold on. Well, let me show you something. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. I don't know if you can see the quality on that right there. Right? The ribs. The raised ribs on that. I don't know if you can see that. Right? It's like braille. It's like braille. Right? So, I don't know if you buy Balenciaga, but they have a theme where their stuff is like a little bit worn. Like that's their style. So the collar comes a little bit worn. And if you buy the hoodies, it'll come down. It'll come like a little bit worn. Right? Right? They don't have a fucking guy. I've been working in this, I've been working with these people for too long. So when a lot of people be like, "Oh, that shit is fake," it's a shame you don't know what the fuck you talking about, and you would overspend for something that you don't really need to spend on because the shit comes from the same place. You understand what I'm saying? All you're doing is paying extra. It was made the same Hung Chow. Shout out to the Chinese over there that's making these shits. He made this shit. Then they may ship it to a manufacturer somewhere else, and then like he said, at the last minute they'll put on a little something. They'll put on the labels. They'll put on the third. Why are you gonna fall for these fucking shenanigans for what? To give yourself some. These clothes can't give you validity. If I felt that these clothes made me who I am, I wouldn't be showing you what I'm showing you today. Hold up, don't go nowhere. Let me show you something. Don't go nowhere. Let me show you something. You think I'm gonna spend a fucking $1,000 on the sneakers? I have spent a lot of money on sneakers before. This is when I was stupid and ignorant, though. This is when I was young and ignorant. I used to like going into Prada. And this is not even with scam or money. I'm going into Prada with my real fucking money that I worked for. And buying these Prada sneakers and all of this shit. Let me show you something. 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 Huh? These runners are $1,000 in the store. $1,000. You think I'm paying a fucking $1,000? Even if I like them, which a lot of times I may like a Chanel shoe and all of that, I'm not spending no fucking $2,000 on this fucking shoes. I just want the shoe. Why am I showing you this? I'm showing you this because they tricked us. And I want to explain this right. Because as I analyze every other country and I seen that they had some type of value that would keep bringing money in, or they would some type of there was a spirit of camaraderie that, hey, we're all going to become great at something. India had that. They was like, yo, we're all going to become nurses, doctors, and IT specialists. And India did it. Right? Russians was like, yo, we're going to be the best in IT security for Mother Russia. And them motherfuckers are bad. China did it. They say, yo, we're gonna be the best in manufacturing. And you know what America became great at? Fucking consuming. And I'm like, man, we really think that these luxury labels, we don't even understand the business, but they don't make you. They don't make you. So when I see the kids in Harlem going out their way to tell somebody else that their shit is fake, I'm like, bro, they all made by the same Chinese people. They made in the same damn shop.
Chinese manufacturers have seen Western brands increase prices and cut ties while still demanding cheap labor behind closed doors. So in response, some of these factories are now revealing who they're making products for and just how much those brands are profiting from their work. They're showing full.
Don't let, and I'm pretty sure every race is involved in buying luxury shit and feeling like, yo, my life is better than yours. I want to reach out to those impoverished people who feel like, because I understand your pain, because I was you. Right? It seemed like everybody else got some shit going on. Your real life is fucked up. But if you could get up enough money somehow to come outside fresh to death, you feel like I am somebody too. Don't nobody got to know my real life. But guess what? Today, my outfit alone is like, if you look at me, shit is $1,500, $2,000, $3,000. So you feel like I am somebody. And we have to change the curses. We have to change the entrainment, because you're being used. I want you to know that. That has nothing to do with your true value as a human being. Your true value is, if you can't be used, you're useless. So when I ask you how much are you worth, I'm not really asking for you to give me an answer that your grandmother would give you. Oh, my baby is priceless. That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking, how much are you worth? And you say, I don't know what that means. And when they call me to speak in schools, this is the first question I ask. I said, how much you worth? And they all give me the same answer. So I already know what's going through your head. Yo, I'm priceless. I said, all right, we're going to see. How much you worth? How much you worth? They all give me the same shit. Ain't no value on me. I said, all right, we're going to see. All right. I said, all right, now I'm going to tell you how much you're worth. Since you don't want to tell me how much you're worth, you don't want to put $1 on it, I'll put $1 on it. And I go to the board and I say, what you know how to do? He said, what you mean? What you know how to do? You know how to do electricity work? You know how to do carpentry work? What do you know how to do? Nah. All right. Right now, you told me you was priceless, but I'm going to keep it real with you. You looking worthless. The class laughed. I said, no, chill out. Because y'all probably worthless too. Not in my eyes. So I don't want you to misconstrue what y'all mean to me. I love y'all. So I'm not saying that to say, yo, you worthless. I'm telling you, it's not up to me. So get that shit out your head. It's not up to your moms. It's not up to your grandmother. No one gives a fuck about what your grand auntie thinks. Can you change a tire, sucker? This is what they want to know. Because they're willing to pay you $25 to change this goddamn tire. Now, how much are you worth? What do you know how to do? Because, let me tell you something. If you can't figure out how much you're worth, they got a place. They got a place for you where you will be worth something. And then I go and I show them the diagram. How much it cost to keep you in prison, right? Who's getting paid off of you? I say, if you can't figure out your worth, they will figure out it for you. So you better figure out, if you don't have a worth, you better say, okay, I want to make this amount of money, and these are my options to make this amount of money. Because at that point now, you say, well, I know how to look up the law. Oh, paralegal, are you? Let me find out your worth. Turns out you're worth base value $90,000 going up to $150,000. Huh, not bad, Charles. You're worth $150,000, Charles. Right? This is not according to me. This is according to the people who need services on this planet. So, I want to change the mindset of our people. First thing I would like to do is help exposed all of this bullshit luxury that we call luxury. But how can it really be luxury if we already established they don't even want you making a certain amount legally? They're out here trying to cap what you make legally. They don't never want you to truly be able to afford luxury, so they want you to spend in your credit card what you can't fucking afford. That's what's happening. What we have to do, if we have grandnephews, nieces, grandchildren, children, we have to find a way to let them know that. Now, here's why I say find a way. If I would have told my daughter all that without showing it to her, she would have thought Poppy is he don't know what's going on. Right? She's going to think I'm out the loop. Because clearly the kids in her class know more than me. When she's seen, that's why I didn't take her to 28th Street first. And I also offered to buy her, well, I just didn't want her to buy expensive jeans because they was bullshit ass jeans to begin with for some fucking $300. I mean, you ain't buying that shit. Get a shirt. Pick up a Coogee shirt. I'll buy you a Coogee shirt. Pick anything else up besides that, right? And in my eyes, it's a waste of money, but in my eyes, it's also I got to teach you a lesson right now, right? So if I buy you this Coogee shirt for $500, right? Boom. Then I take you downtown and showed you we could have got the Coogee shirt for $150. Now you put them side by side. I want you to tell me the difference. Oh, it ain't no difference? Then why the fuck you gonna spend $350 more? You can't even tell the difference. So why are you going to spend that? So you have to find a way to communicate with these younger kids because they know different than you was when you was young and you thought you knew everything. You have to remember that. You thought you knew everything. They think they know everything. It's no difference.
Production lines of handbags, shoes, wallets, sometimes even with the logos of luxury brands still visible. These videos aren't allegations, they're receipts.
Because first, our profit margin is very good, actually. So we are able to support them. And second, our factories all have 20 to 30 years experiences. The bags made by their hands are of better quality than those made in machinery. That is why. So if you are interested in bags, contact me. You will love the quality and you will love the price.
Let's break down exactly how this works. Most of the labor, from cutting and sewing to shaping, assembling, and finishing the product, happens in Chinese factories. These facilities are fully equipped, often running under contract with major fashion labels. They're not back alley shops. They're industrial-scale manufacturers capable of producing high-volume, high-quality goods.
Now, I could whip out my phone right now and show you all the manufacturers that I speak to in China on WhatsApp, but I'm not going to do that. You're just going to have to take my... You're going to have to just take my word for it. But I already told you, I did this for a living, right? I've went out to Texas, true story, with fucking barely any money in a bag full of product. Not even enough money for a hotel. Had to beg the hotel owner, just give me one day in a place to stay, please. And somehow they do it. And the next day I make rent for that room. And I keep on doing it. I went out to Houston. Shout out to fucking Houston. Woo! I get it, Drake. I get it, nigga. Sharkstown Mall was nothing to play with back in the day. I go out there with nothing. Make $1,700 in the weekend. It's a shame that we're so indoctrinated and so, I know one video wouldn't be able to get our people to wake up, especially not the Harlem people. They're still going to feel if I didn't get it out the store and overpay for it, it's not real. They're not going to understand me telling them, yo, this is the same guy I got on WhatsApp making it anyway. He's making the Nike shoe anyway. Some of it falls off a truck, quote, and some of it goes to where Nike wants it to go. The shit that falls off. It's just like if you work that. And that's the funny thing. Think of it like that. Even if you are an honest person, because I feel, for some reason, I feel that Winter is too honest, right? So even if Winter worked at the Nike plant, I've never met Winter in real life, but I just don't see her like, yo, putting shoes to the fucking side. However, this fucking guy, hold up. This fucking guy, he is exactly who I think would have fucking shoes in the bathroom somewhere in the trash bag. Just being honest. And he would probably say, yeah, I definitely would do that. Right? And now, my point is, if this fucking guy leaves that plant and he sells those shoes, are those fake shoes? That's what you have to grapple with. Are these fake shoes? Because he could have put those in the box to go to where Nike wanted them to go, but he kept some on the side. That is what's happening in China. They're making shit and then they're keeping it to the side, and then they have their own black market business going on that sells, and then it reaches spots like 28th Street. And I'm going to keep it real with you. You may go to 28th Street and get got because you don't know. They may not take you to the real spots. I'm not giving you my fucking location, but if you do see something you like, I will sell that shit to you. Just reach out to me. DM me. Jamel_Saladin on Instagram. Right? Tell me what you want. Send me a picture of that shit. I'll get it for you. You're not getting my guy. I've been doing this for too long. Right? There's times I still go down to 28th Street, grab some shit. You want to know how much money I made on fucking Tiffany jewelry and Chanel? Now that shit was fake. You can't fake you cannot fake silver. You understand? You can't fake silver. This shit is gonna turn if you buy it for $20. But still, I made a lot of money off of it. Especially the Chanel bracelets. I didn't even know them shits was out. Sometimes I just go down to 28th Street. I'm just want to be nosy. Yo, what the fuck y'all got going on now? One time I was being nosy, found out the belts was hitting. I just came down here to be nosy. Belts was hitting. Salvatore Ferragamo belts, Versace belts, all the belts, Hermes belts. Oh, give me all that shit. Give me all that shit. Right? Right on offer up. Right on offer up. That shit was clinging. Yeah. Huh? Sit back and don't do shit, but that's how you do it. Right on eBay, nigga. Huh? I'm giving you niggas the game. You want the game or you want to be lame? Which one? Choose ye this day. Which God you will serve? Some fucking, I want to spend all my money on bullshit, or you want to get money with your man? Let me know, man. Stop playing. You know how much I made on eBay? Selling fucking colognes? What we talking about? Let me show you something. Let me show you something. Don't go nowhere. Let me show you something. one day, I was actually moving. And some guys were helping me move for my job. But my phone was janking. That shit was janking, bro. Bing! Bing! Every 2 minutes. Bing! Bing! So my wife said, "What is that?" I said, "That's money. People buying shit off of eBay. It's my eBay." She said, "What the fuck they buying?" Hello. What they buying? Chanel Blue. When we stopped, I had $700 fucking dollars. No. This ain't Temu. I'm not talking about Temu. I'm not talking about Temu. Temu will backfire your ass, though. Temu will back. I ain't talking about Temu. Fuck Temu. Temu has given me the shaft so many times that I don't even fuck with Temu. Yo, Temu has embarrassed me so many times. My daughter asked me, hey Poppy, I see this on Don't buy any. Whatever you buy from Temu, I'm telling you, it will not be what you expected. You know what I tried to buy from Temu? Oh, I want those nice bulbs for my yard. I'm going to put them shits all around the yard. You know those bulbs make your yard look crazy, right? Your shit looking nice for the summer. I said, oh, yeah, hell yeah. I need the bulbs to go all. I got a big backyard. Go all around the yard, make my yard look nice. Why I order them shits off Temu? You know how big these fucking bulbs were? I just was in awe. They were like for Smurfs. I was like, no, first of all, how'd you make a bulb this small? And like, what? These are not the bulbs I ordered, Temu. Everything comes amazingly small on Temu. I said, you're barred. Temu, you're barred. You're barred from. I want all your apps off all my devices, right? Temu's barred. But Alibaba, but again, I had relationships with some of these people. You'll find a lot of Chinese manufacturers on Instagram. Again, I have closer contacts, but I'm not giving them to you. But I'll sell you shit. You understand? Now, I had a big order for Chanel Blue, but let me just give you one tip about Chanel Blue. The real Chanel Blue, they smart. They made the top is magnetic, so that shit will snap down. Right? If you're going to I buy other shit. I know it's fake, so I'm gonna call fake, and I'm not gonna teach you wrong. This shit is fake. There's no getting around that. There's no, oh, I brought it and it's real. No, this shit is fake. It doesn't have the magnetic top like Chanel Blue should have. This shit is fake. So there's things that are fake, and there's things that fall off of a truck. Meaning, when I say that, these people in these factories, they make shit, they dip it to the side to sell. And you'll be able to tell. You'll be able to tell. If it look like you're going to wash and dry that shit and that shit is going to crackle all up, that shit is fake. So the difference is not everything is fake, and not everything you got to go to these stores and any way, shut them down. Shut them down. And I'm specifically speaking to black people today. Stop putting your money into these luxury brands. I'd rather you make your own shit. Gas up your man to make fucking clothes and then support his shit. Gas up some girl. Find out what girl makes her own clothes in your neighborhood and then make her shit cool, bro. Fuck these people. They don't come to your help. They don't come to your rescue. They don't They don't help you at all. When shit is bad for you, stop. You are the truth. It's you. You the one. Believe in yourself. You the one. Wherever you're at. Harlem. Young kids in Bronx. Don't think because you in an environment like, yo, shit is fucked up. Use that energy as motivation to create something. Bet on yourself. Because it's all a scam.
Brands send over raw materials, design specs, and hardware, like buckles, zippers, monogrammed buttons, and the Chinese factories handle nearly all of it. In many cases, the bags are 90 to 95% complete. But here's the trick. Once the product is just about finished, say it's missing a logo plate or a final polish, it gets shipped to Italy, France, or Switzerland. There, a final assembly step is done. This could be as minor as adding a strap, gluing a lining, or embossing a serial number inside the bag. It doesn't matter how small the step is. What matters is where that step physically happens. Because under EU labeling laws, the phrase "made in Italy" or "made in France" is legally allowed as long as the last substantial transformation of the product occurred there.
That's crazy. So the entire bag could have been made in China. But because this is what Puff Daddy used to do. Do you know that? All those years you thought Puff Daddy was actually making a song, it was D. Angeletti. That's why so many people complain. This is why Suge Knight said, yo, if you don't want your producer all in the videos, all on your songs, because what he would do is, when the song is done, he would add a symbol. He gets a credit for that as a producer, right? He's on the joint. Yeah, Playboy, take that, take that, take that. He's doing that because he wants artist credit on the song. So when the residuals start to come in, he's getting stuff. He's really the company owner, but guess what? I did work on that song though, Playboy, and I did add those drums. So what we talking about? We got to split this up. These people ain't doing nothing different. The whole bag, the whole shirt was made somewhere else, and then the final step, just so they could say "made in France." Wow, you gonna fall for that?
And that phrase, substantial transformation, is so vague, it gives brands all the room they need to maneuver. So yeah, a bag that's been sitting in China for 98% of its creation suddenly becomes a Parisian luxury good because someone in France attached a zipper.
That way, the bags will appear at their boutiques as made in Italy or made in France. You know, those sophisticated European countries, which make you feel mysterious, royal, and thus luxury. Now, close your eyes. Let's just do a little
And to put you into some more game, you could get the textile of the fabric online. Meaning you could get Goyard, right? And this is what I'm trying to, but my daughter's still young. She only in 9th grade. And I don't want her to focus on this. But if I had a younger person to pour this information into, I would put all the game into him. Yo, order the textile offline. Order the Goyard offline, right? Take my sewing machine, make a fucking shirt out of it, and see what happened when you take it to school. See what happened when you take it to school. You gotta pull a fucking, what's his name? From Harlem. Dapper Dan. You gotta pull a Dapper Dan on him. But you can't get the short end of the stick and paying $1,000 for a shoe that I got for $150. Huh? Now, if I paid $1.50 for these, somebody else paid $1,000. Somebody definitely paid $1,000 for these shits. But I want to ask you something, because we're talking business right now, right? Look at the detail on the back and all that. Huh? Look at the detail in the front. If I paid $150, what the fuck did the last guy pay for it? You understand what I'm saying? What in the fuck did the last guy? I'm paying $150. What did he pay?
Very easy experiment in your head, okay? Imagine that you have an Hermes bag, and suddenly the label on it changed from made in France into made in China, while everything else like leathers, zippers, and hardware remain the same. Do you suddenly feel that your bag is not as luxury as before? If you do, that means you have been misled and poisoned by the market campaign.
Thank you. Thank you. So me and him on the same page. Me and him are on the same page. I'm gonna bring that back so he could say that one more time. One more time. Because my experience in selling these things around the United States, it's not just black people. It's just that I have, obviously I'm a black American, so I want to restore our consciousness to Black Wall Street mindset. You understand? But we can't do that if our youth their brains are entrained to be a consumer slave and they don't even know why. So we need certain people to get up here and educate, because otherwise people would be ashamed to say, hey, I bought that. I didn't buy it out the store. It's okay. They was going to scam you anyway. They was going to jerk you anyway. You know how much they paid for that shit? Probably $50 at most. They charge you $1,000. They charge you $3,000. Eesh. For something they paid $50 for? Ouch. Ouch. And I come to you, yo, you know how I'm gonna tell you how poison our minds are. I used to buy the duffel, right? Now here's the thing with the duffel. This is from somebody who's selling it. So I'm telling you right now, like, I've been in that game for a minute. And my man used to stay away from the duffel. He didn't like the duffel because he's like, you can't sell them. I'm like, nah, give me 3 of them shits. I'm selling them shits. The thing with the duffel, your price can't be too low. Really, when you're selling Louis Vuitton purses on the street, your price can't be too low. Which is sad. Right? So I made a lot of money because it was the people that forced my hand to raise my price. Why? Because they wanted to believe that at least I paid something of value a little bit. It wasn't the full $3,000, but hey, I only paid $150. I only paid $300 in the salon. So I would have to sell the duffel for $300. I bought that duffel for $75. But if I sold it for $1, if I sold that same duffel for $125, they don't want it. It's too cheap. They feel like something is suspicious. Now, something in their head, the higher I go in price, the realer this shit is. And I'm sitting there like, damn, I don't even want to charge you, girl. Like, I'm really cool with you. And I don't want to charge you this money. But you going to get this work. Give me $350. Fuck it. I fucks with you. Thank you, Saladin. I fucks with you. It's crazy, man. This is crazy. This is madness. Fuck are y'all doing? Black people, you don't know where your power at. Your power's not in nobody's scared of you. Nobody's scared. We know you get desperate, which any human being will do, if they're in your shoes of not being educated and hyped up on all type of pharmaceuticals that are mandated that fuck with your cognition. So yeah, you do some wild shit in your neighborhood, but for the most part, the world is no one's impressed with your wild theatrics of incivility. So what you have to do is, if you keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, then we're going to call you insane. We're going to call you insane. So with black people, what you have to do, before I say what you have to do you know how babies learn to walk? Babies actually see what's going on and they pay attention. And they learn, but way before they even try to walk, they have paid attention to what others was doing around them in their environment. And then they grab the edge of the couch and they try to do the same thing. What I'm telling you, black people, is you got all these complaints about the Jews and they got all the money. They don't even dress like you. Yeah, but he got on Gucci shoes. Okay, he also has a fucking $1 million in the bank. But let me tell you something. If he had your same amount of money, he would not have on Gucci shoes. I assure you this. So what you have to do is find a way to make your money circulate in your neighborhood amongst yourselves. Amongst yourselves. This is why I'm telling you, go get a sewing machine. Let somebody come to you. Go get some pots and pans for some cakes. Let somebody come to you. Let us go to each other for the things that we need again. But the first thing is first, let me go back to what I was saying before. Reject these labels. Now, I know we're too stylish of a people to totally reject them. So my suggestion is, stop all that, that shit is fake shit. If you like it, buy it. How about that? How about those fucking apples? If you like it and somebody came through with the car and the back of the trunk shit and you like it, buy it. You're supporting him and you're not supporting these other people who truly don't give a fuck about you. And furthermore, you have to show these people where your power is. You have to show them. It is not in your ability to burn down your own buildings. You cannot fight the government with fist and brawn and might. It's not going to work. Surely they will commit genocide on you before they allow that shit to happen. So, a whole nother tactic has to be taken. So like someone just put in my comment, use your money for food, shelter, the essentials, and if you could get a deal anywhere else. Now, my Instagram is Jamel_Saladin. If you don't have a guy, I'll be your guy. Send me a picture of what you want. And I'll let you know if I can get it, and I'll send you a price of what I could get it to you for. And I'm not going to send you no bullshit. So if you ask me for essentials and the shit don't look like my essentials hoodie, right? This shit don't look like my essentials hoodie, then I'm not even gonna cop that shit for you. I'm not gonna have you out here looking crazy. That's nuts. Because you'll revert right back to what you was doing, spending on overpriced clothing, and they are overpricing the shit out of you.
Of those luxury brands for too long. Welcome to the real world. You have been misled and poisoned by the market. You have been misled and poisoned by the market. You have been misled and poisoned by the market. You have been misled and poisoned by the market campaign of those luxury brands for too long. Welcome to the real world. Remain the same. Do you suddenly feel that your bag is not as luxury as before? China, while everything else, like leathers, zippers, and hardware, remain the same. You have an Hermes bag, and suddenly the label on it changed from made in France into made in China, while everything else, like leather.
So that's what he's saying. Everything is the same, but one says made in China and made in France. They was both made by the same person, by the same company anyway, except the last piece had to get shipped to France. Maybe so they could brand it that last piece for you. And maybe, listen, this ain't for everybody. Some people, they're just going to feel like, yo, I don't do that type of shit. I hear you, but yo, I need the luxury. Yo, I'm not here for you. You understand? I'm not shooting you down. You got to do what you do, playboy. I'm trying to raise a community of people who want to change this. See, people like you coming in the tail end when things actually change, and then once you seen that the whole vibe and perception changed, then you try to get down in the tail end. I can't even get mad at that because I'm used to people like you. You're scavengers. You're hanger-ons. That's what we call you, right? You don't move until everybody else moves, and then you act like you was with the movement the whole time. Nah. You wasn't, but what are we going to do about that? We can't change that. So the first thing is to educate people. And like this man is asking, right? He's asking a good question. Yo, it's the same shit. We make it anyway, except we got to ship it there for them so they can put that final touch on it, and it says made in France. Do you think it's no longer luxury?
Now, close your eyes. Let's just do a little very easy experiment in your head, okay? Imagine that you have an Hermes bag, and suddenly the label on it changed from made in France into made in China, while everything else, like leathers, zippers, and hardware, remain the same. Do you suddenly feel that your bag is not as luxury as before? If you do, that means you have been misled and poisoned by the market campaign of those luxury brands for too long. Welcome to the real world.
Now, here's where things get really interesting. These factory workers and suppliers in China aren't just trying to stir the pot. They're making a point. With the rise of U.S. sanctions and tariffs on Chinese goods, American brands are hiking their retail prices to protect profit margins while cutting costs behind the scenes. And many Chinese manufacturers feel like they're being used, forced to keep production costs low while brands pocket record profits. So they're fighting back with transparency. They're using TikTok and other Chinese platforms to post behind-the-scenes footage of luxury goods being made in their factories. And it's not just one-off clips. There's now an entire community of content creators doing this, showing stitching processes, bag molds, hardware stamping, even unbranded luxury shoes straight off the line. Some of these videos even break down the exact production costs, claiming a bag that sells for $35,000 costs just $1,250 to produce.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm telling you, we could do it. You just have to put some. I design websites, right? So right now, one of my clients is beefing, right? Because she's not making any money. She's blaming it on the website. The website is so bland. Oh, she's so upset. So I go to her social media and I had to let her know, you're not making any fucking money, not because of the website. You don't post shit on your Instagram or TikTok. How is anybody supposed to know that you do this? So stop bugging me about a goddamn website. I'm not going to keep doing I built this website for you fucking 2 years ago. Get off my back about the fucking website. And no, I'm not interested in rebuilding your website. Sorry. It costs money. You paid me for the website. I gave you a website. Now 2 years later, oh, you want some change? I'm not the guy to change shit. Go find somebody else to change it or buy a new website. Because you're just frustrated. You're frustrated because you're not making money. You're not making money because you're not posting about what you do. Yeah, that's true, because I'm not good at social media. Well, this would be a fine time to become good at goddamn social media. Instead of blowing up my phone. I got other shit to do. I got to sell this shit from China. By the way, man, I introduced you in that handbag from Louis Vuitton. Fuck what you talking about. Can I interest you in any Jimmy Choo that I may have available? So what I'm saying is, encourage our high school students. If you guys have high school students around, you have to find a way to relate to them, to educate. They're not going to just take your word and be like, yo, don't go buy that. They're not going to do that. You have to find a way to get them to be interested in somehow making their own clothes. But then, and it's not only their own clothes. Make it, do you. Believe in you. But you have to promote that shit. Put that shit on Instagram. Put that shit on TikTok. Let the world see what you're doing. But it takes all of us. It takes everyone. Everyone has to get on the same accord. This is what I like to use my channel for. We can do this together. Because we took a nasty hit during the 80s. I mean, we're still shaking off that energy right now. When they brought in that crack cocaine and everyone became street millionaires and thousandaires. We have people sitting here literally waiting for the crack gods to return. Please, God, they were here once. They were here. They're gonna come back. They're not gonna come back without people dying. It's called fentanyl. They're not gonna come back without people dying, without someone. There's other ways, and I know that's what we're used to. There's a book called Who Moved My Cheese? And it talks about how you're used to getting things one way, and when that stops, you have to literally find a new way. And there's going to be a segment where it gets rough. You're not going to know what to do. This is it, black people. We just have to stop buying overpriced stuff. It doesn't make sense. Stop it. Just stop it. I'd rather you keep your money in your bank. It doesn't add any value to your life. How much are you worth, really? Outside of your bank account, how much are you worth? That's the part you need to figure out. Answer that question. How much am I worth? And if you don't have anything that you can bring to the table, if you don't know how to look up law as a paralegal, right? If you're not qualified to be a nurse's technician, if you're not qualified to, if you don't know what to do with electrical wires at all, and you kill yourself, you're not an electrician, you're not a fucking plumber, you don't even know how to put a wrench, you can't hammer shit, then your value is, you're gonna have a hard time. What are you worth? What are you worth? So this doesn't come by praying to Jesus. Oh, please, Jesus, make a way financially. Please, God. I don't care how much you pray. Your situation is not changing. Because if you can't be used, you're useless.
And again, this isn't counterfeit merchandise. These are legit manufacturing contracts for the very same brands that sit behind glass in Paris and Milan. The message from these factory workers is simple. If we make it, why can't we show it?
And I get it. Now, I want to let's shift the show a little bit, right? And I want to let's shift the show. How much time I got on this bad boy? What does that say? 134? All right, we're doing good. I really don't like to go over 2 hours. So we're actually doing great. All right. Boom. Okay, cool. Let's just... now, here's a little education. Because I did say I would educate. And I hate to do a show without some type of true history. The name of my channel is Society, Past, Present, and Future. So what we need to do is understand why we got to this place in the first goddamn place. Let's talk about that. The timeline of the embracement, and when I say embracement, I'm talking about the embracement of offshoring globalization, right? Offshoring. While companies experimented with shifting assembly lines for decades, the deep mainstream embrace happened in 3 distinct eras. The pre-dawn era, 1960s to 1970s. Do me a favor, hit the like button if you can. We don't have a lot of people in here today, and that's okay. The pre-dawn era, 1960s to 1970s. Nearshoring and containerization. The seeds were planted in 1965 when Mexico established, okay, this is a word, Maquiladora program. Established the Maquiladora program, allowing U.S. companies to send raw materials across the border duty-free, assemble them using cheap labor, and ship the finished products back. Simultaneously, the invention and standardization of intermodal containerized shipping in the late 1950s and 60s made moving goods across the ocean exponentially cheaper and faster. Now we're getting history of how we got to where we are now and what this caused, because this is also what caused America to deteriorate, because we'll see in a second, they start to take jobs from America because these capitalists, and I'm not against capitalism, but there should have been some type of safety capitalism. I don't know if that's a thing, but when too many capitalists say, hey, even though our companies are American made or American headquartered in America, let's take the work somewhere else because we can get it cheap. It's going to affect America. And it did affect America. The legal floodgates, 1990s, NAFTA, North America Free Trade Agreement. Let's just call it NAFTA for now. The ultimate shift toward corporate globalization came with the signing of the NAFTA in 1994, North American Free Trade Agreement. NAFTA eliminated tariffs between the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. For the first time, major American corporations, particularly in the automotive and textile industries, moved full-scale manufacturing facilities across the border to significantly slash labor cost. The China Shock, 2001, the epicenter. The defining moment of modern offshoring occurred in December 2001 when China officially joined the World Trade Organization. Armed with permanent normal trade relation status with the U.S., China became the world's factory. American tech, consumer goods, and heavy manufacturing aggressively offshored product to capitalize on China's massive low-wage workforce and robust manufacturing infrastructure. The phenomenal story of hindsight. In hindsight, the track record of offshoring tells a complex, double-edged story. It represents massive triumph of corporate efficiency and consumer affordability, but at severe structural cost to the American middle class. Hello. The corporate and consumer victory. Cheap goods and high margins. That's crazy. It's crazy that they would pay $1,000 to get a pocketbook made and sell it to you for $35,000. Yikes. From macroeconomic and corporate perspective, offshoring accomplished exactly what it set out to do. The death of inflation for goods. It created an era of unprecedentedly cheap consumer goods. Laptops, TVs, apparel, and appliances became accessible to virtually every socioeconomic class in America because production costs plummeted. Corporate boom. American multinational companies saw their profit markets skyrocket. Capital was freed up to invest in high-skill sectors, research and development, software, and marketing. The structural costs. The deindustrialization of the Rust Belt. The data paints a stark picture of the domestic consequence. U.S. manufacturing employment actually peaked in 1979 at around 19.5 million jobs. It experienced a steady, slow decline through the 80s and 90s, but after China joined the WTO in 2001, it fell off a cliff. Between 2000 and 2010, the U.S. lost nearly 6 million manufacturing jobs. Now, I don't know if the United States ever revealed this at the time, but what you have to take in consideration is it was only in October that they told us that they had been lying about the amount of jobs that were created every month, and that their numbers were off by 911,000 and rounded off. That's 1 million jobs. So for approximately 2 years, the United States have been telling you that there were jobs coming in that weren't coming in. That's just from their mouth, not mine. That's not conspiracy. You can look that up. The China shock impact. Economists estimate that the sudden influx of Chinese imports were directly responsible from anywhere from 1.5 million to over 2 million of those lost jobs, concentrated heavily in regions like the Midwest and the South. The rise of automation. Hindsight also reveals that the trade wasn't the only culprit. A massive portion of job loss was driven by domestic automation. American factories that stayed in the U.S. adopted advanced robotics and software, allowing them to produce more goods with a fraction of the human labor. Now is not the time to be going out and buying red bottoms at full price. It's not. It's just not. It's not. And so I'm not telling you to not buy red bottoms, but maybe you might want to find a guy. You might want to find a guy at this point. Because sometimes to see the effect of what has already happened, it doesn't come until later on, right? They say that happens with tsunamis, and I don't know. But they say at first, the water actually recedes back. So it looks like, oh, nothing's wrong at all. And then here comes now, mind you, the tsunami, what caused the tsunami had already happened. It could have happened hours ago. That doesn't mean it reached the shore. That doesn't mean the devastation, the complete devastation has shown itself. It hasn't. So what's going on right now, the devastation has not shown itself, right? So when we talk about President Trump almost close to making a deal with Iran, but then allowing Israel to foil those efforts, America was already complaining that the tankers that was bringing the crude oil over, like it had already, our last tanker had already reached the shore, because it takes time. They said it takes like 3 months for us to get this oil here to the U.S. But because of the war, it had delayed. It was delaying, like, so it's going to delay the next tanker that should have been on time. It won't be on time. So what I'm saying to you is, we haven't felt the effects of that yet. Gas went down a little bit because they announced there was going to be a peace agreement. So they're like, okay, the oil is coming, so we don't have to get crazy. And guess what? Israel is Israel. Israel's not here, so whatever they got going on, they don't see the same effects they don't feel the same effects that we feel. So for whatever reason, we could speculate why they want this war. But for whatever reason, they want this war. You guys give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Yo, hold on 1 second, bro. All right, sorry about that. I'm telling you right now, we're not feeling the effects of what's gonna come. Right now, they started the war back up. So what's gonna happen now is, I don't know if that last tanker is gonna be on time. I don't know if that last tanker has gotten here, but there will be dramatic effects for us being involved in this war. It's at the wrong time, because it's also at a time where automation is at an all-time high. Everything can be automated, and now you have something called AI agents, artificial intelligence agents, and I could show you how to build those right from scratch, where they do the work of, I'm building one right now for a dentist, and it can do the work of his 2 front end girls. I asked him. I said, what do your front end girls do? He hires them because they're pretty. I know one doctor, he has like fucking 10, 15 girls in there, and they're just walking around looking pretty. I don't like them because they're arrogant. But guess what? You're going to lose your fucking job anyway. You're going to lose your job. There's too many of you here. And when I walk into his office with my product and show them, listen, this is the face that you should be looking at. Not these pretty Dominican faces. Fuck them. This is the face that you want, Playboy. Give me $250 a month. They could do all what they doing. Right? So when it comes to the medical industry, you have to worry about HIPAA. Right? But HIPAA is not like the way it used to be, where things have to be a physical copy. As long as it's secure. As long as the information is secure. So if they email over something, my agent can grab it from an email, put it in a secure digital box like a cloud, right? AWS or Google Cloud storage component. And you just tell your agent, I want this to happen, this, in sequential steps. I want this to happen first, this to happen second, this happen third. When the phone rings, I want this to happen, this to happen. I'm explaining this because we're not feeling the effects right now, because people like me are sitting at home building these shits out. So you're not going to see it for another year and a half, another 2 years, right? But you're going to see it. And then people going to be on the fucking bread line soon. They're first going to be unemployment, then they're going to waste that. I don't want you to spend your unemployment money on fucking stupid shit. Because you're going to need it. Because life is changing after this. And it's not going to go back. So forget about what was 10 years ago. All that fashion shit. You see me with it on, but I'm going to keep it real with you. I have a guy. Right? And no, you're not going to be able to run down on me and be like, yo, your shit is fake. Prove it to me. Right? Prove it to me. This shit got like some fucking rhinestones on it. Prove it to me. Prove it to me. This shit is fake how? You can't prove it to me. You can't prove it to me. This quality is crazy. This quality is crazy. And I would never pay the price they want in the store for that. No. And I only use this shit as a tool to get other things that I want. You understand? Because people think if you got the money, then you are somebody. Now you attract other people. This is how it really works. I'm just being very transparent with you. I don't have to give none of you the game. But this is how it works. This is the same as if I wanted to rent a car and I go rent a G-Wagon for the weekend and then I just hang out downtown. By the time the weekend is over, do you know how many fucking contacts I got? I got all type of dope boys in my fucking Rolodex now. I don't know why I may need these people later on to do business. This is how it fucking works, bro. So be smart. I don't know who needs to hear this today, but I'm giving you immaculate fucking game right now. If you really listening to what I'm talking about. But let's get back to the history. This is why sometimes I don't like a lot of people on my lives anyway. I like to sit with a decent amount of people who could soak up the game. Because if that number stayed the same, that means they fucking sitting there listening. And then I know I'm supposed to be talking to who I'm supposed to be talking to. But when you got 300 people in here and it's up and down and people just trolling and the Chinese shock impact. Economists estimate that so I read that Okay, and I read the rise of automation. All right, so here's my last slide. The modern pivot, nearshoring and friendshoring. In 2006, the track record has come full circle. Excuse me. Decades of offshoring created incredible, fragile, just-in-time supply chains. Following the severe disruptions of the COVID-19 pandemic, rising geopolitical tensions with China, and the implementation of heavy tariffs, the pendulum is swinging back. Many American companies are now aggressively pursuing near offshoring, moving factories back to Mexico. Can I just stop right there? And I don't have anything against Mexico. However, here's the sadness, the sad reality of the United States. Our politicians don't care as much as we think they do about this United States. They don't. Collectively, they just don't. You have one-offs, and they show how much they care, right? You have Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? You have Thomas Massey. You have a few out there that really are like, well, what are we doing? And everyone else is they must be getting paid another way where they're deaf and blind. They can't see anything. They can't hear what you're saying. So they're sold out to the pharmaceutical industry. They're sold out. Why aren't we bringing factories back to the United States? Because obviously they can use the people in Mexico to make it. So you know what? Stop buying their shit. Stop buying shit. This is why I was originally in agreement with the Chinese tariffs. But people didn't understand why I was for it. And it was like, do you know who's going to pay for that? You. Because I don't want a lot of this shit. But unfortunately, so much shit has been started to be made in China that you can't avoid overpaying on it, because we've allowed every last damn thing to be made somewhere else. So I don't know about you guys that's listening, but for me, I was like, okay, so how do we avoid that so that doesn't happen again? We have to bring this shit back. Even if it's not instant, it won't be instant anyway. It won't be instant. But we have to start the course of bringing manufacturing back because of what we just learned. When you put all your eggs in one basket and nothing is being made here and you're just helpless, you don't even have you have the raw sources to get it done, but the system, we let the system go. The system of manufacturing, we let it go because capitalists wanted to make money somewhere else. Well, I think that our governmental administrators should have seen the peril that they was putting us in by allowing that to even happen, in my opinion. So now we're bringing it back to Mexico. We're bringing production back to Mexico. That's not the United States, and it's really still not going to do anything for jobs here. To ensure supply chain security, proving that while offshoring saved trillions of dollars, it introduced vulnerabilities that corporations are now spending billions to fix. Yeah. So, right on time, that is an hour and 56 minutes. I hope I've given something for somebody to think about doing this episode. And I guess I'll let this play out for the remainder of the time.
Here's how the math works. Let's say a brand places an order for 1,000 units of a high-end leather tote. The Chinese factory charges $200 to $400 per unit, depending on the complexity and materials. The goods are assembled, packaged, and shipped overseas. Once they hit a warehouse in Italy or France, a minor final touch is added. Let's say that adds another $50. So the total production cost? roughly $450. That same bag walks into a boutique on Rodeo Drive or the Champs-Élysées and hits the shelf for $3,500, sometimes more. That's nearly an 800% markup, and most of that value comes from the branding, from the story, the country label, the aesthetic, and the belief that it was crafted with heritage and authenticity. Not just bags, split production across categories. Wallets, belts, sneakers, scarves, sunglasses. All kinds of luxury items use the same system. It's called split production, where parts of the product are manufactured in different countries. The lining might come from India, the hardware from Turkey, and the stitching from China. Then it all gets sent to Italy, where a button gets added. Boom. Made in Italy. Even leather that's labeled as Italian is often tanned or processed in Asia, then finished or dyed in Tuscany. It's like building a car in Japan and then installing a license plate in Germany and calling it German-made. It's not about quality. It's about marketing. Now, to be fair, the quality coming out of Chinese factories can be phenomenal. Many of these manufacturers meet or exceed global standards and produce goods at a level that rivals their European counterparts.
Can I say something though? Can I say something? I've seen Chinese manufacturers like make some dope stuff, man, without any name on it. And I'm like, yo, that's dope. Like this bag here and that bag, but even if it didn't have a name on it, I'm like, yo, that's just a nice bag. Like, I don't care if it's Louis, right? This is just a nice bag. And a lot of times the Chinese will sell you these same bags, white label. They'll do the same thing for you that they do for the rest of these brands. And a lot of times that's what was happening anyway. So when you went into the Gap and you went into the Banana Republic and you went into Ann Taylor, you noticed that the clothes were very similar. Why were they very similar? Because Banana Republic and the Gap used the same manufacturer. That's why. Imagine that. The same damn manufacturer, the same damn clothes, different label. Believe in yourself, man. Throw your own name on it. Somebody, yo, what's that? Don't worry about it. Do you like it? Is it nice? Be wary of people who ask what is it before they even compliment your stuff. Be wary of those people. These are what we call hype beast. If it's no frills, you might get a comment like, interesting. But if you said that one of the higher names, they were like, oh, that's really nice. Well, why you didn't lead with that then? Why you didn't lead with like, yo, you got a nice bag? Because you're a hype beast. That's why. You're a label whore.
Goods at a level that rivals their European counterparts. The issue is deception. The fact that luxury brands are deliberately hiding where their goods are made, while charging premiums for European heritage and craftsmanship that often didn't happen at all. What you're really paying for isn't the product. You're paying for the illusion, the ambiance, the backstory that makes you feel like you're owning a piece of fashion history, when in reality you just bought something off a well-run Chinese production line that passed through Italy for an hour and got a label sewn in.
All right, y'all, that's my show. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. My name is Jamel Saladin. This is Society, Past, Present, and Future. Do subscribe, and if you get a chance to hype this video, do that as well. All right? Catch y'all later. Have a great day. Peace out.